Hello and welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Morris Marina 2. Welcome back, and if you're into car brochures, please do subscribe. It does help the channel. So following on really from the original Morris Marina brochure I did for the 1971 version, it was very popular, so I thought I'd do another one, this time showing the Morris Marina 2, which had the code name ADO 73. Yeah, I'm going for that. ADO 73 when it was in development. 1976 is when it actually came out, with a few tweaks which we'll kind of like talk about in a little while. Today's brochure is a little bit later though. This is from 1978 when they did another little bit of a tweak, although this wasn't the Marina 3, it was just a tweak of the Marina 2 actually. Primarily though, it was talking about the new the new O series engine, the 1.7 that came out at this time, and they did tweak a few little more things, and you can see straight away these little driving lights were like more on the top models in 76. Now it appeared on all these different models, even the basic 1.3s. Anyway, I'm waffling on to let's have a look at the brochure. So here we go, today's brochure, proudly showing the Morris badge actually, this red ox over these blue lines. I do believe that is taken from the coat of arms of Oxford, although some people say, you know, the red is an ox and the blue Ford, Oxford. But yeah, there we go. And it's nice to see that, because in some ways British Leyland were kind of like removing these sort of like emblems of all these different marks they had, but nice to show it actually still showing that Morris badge on this one. So yeah, so this is the Morris Marina 2. Doesn't show anywhere that it is the Marina 2. On the very first brochures that came out in 76, it added like a number 2 next to it, but just the Morris Marina it's showing here. Updates in 78, so we got that 1.7 litre all-series engine, which I mentioned. That would have been also the same engine used on the Princess, and it was there to replace the larger B-series 1.8. There was also a change in the grille, these driving lights, front spoiler, redesigned bumpers, rear tail lights, etc. So they did minor tweaks for this year, although the Marina 2 itself was tweaked from the original Marina, of course. And I must admit, although the Marina 2 was an improvement in some ways, I do prefer the original styling of the original Morris Marina, I must admit. But anyway, let's open this brochure up and see what we can see. Oh yes, and the kind of like the updates of the Marina 2, the things like the seats and the grille were updated, the suspension got a bit of a tweak. The weird thing though, it got a new dashboard, which we'll see, which I think that was a step down, but overall it was a better car in most aspects. Apart from, personally, I think it was a step back in looks, but that's purely a personal thing. Anyway, let's open the page up. We get a lovely picture of this top of the range Marina 1700 HL with this lovely vinyl roof, which is a really nice picture. Like I said, that would have been the top of the range version. And straight away it's talking about this new 1700 power unit, and we'll just have a quick glance at some of this. Yes, this does also open up as well to show the 1.3. But like I said, let's just have a quick glance at some of this text. It's a wordy brochure this, so I do apologise, I can't read it all. So it starts by saying, over its long history, Morris has stood for good value for money, reliability and simplicity with well-proven engineering and modern, straightforward designs. But above all, Morris has been the family car. They have given loads of room both inside and in the boot. They have always offered comfort, economy, ease of servicing and good, reliable performance. These are what we call Morris sense of values. 5 of the 11 models in the new Morris Marina range are now available with the new 1700 power unit. And it goes on to tell us a little bit more about that. Needless to say, the 1700 is every bit as reliable as you'd expect a Marina engine. I'm not sure how many people was on that opinion at this time, but nevertheless, this new engine is certainly a well-needed engine in there. Although I certainly think by 78 it's a little bit long in the tooth by that stage. The competition has certainly moved on quite a lot. I mean, you only have to look at things like the Cavalier to see how much more advanced design it was to these very blocky square vehicles. It goes on to say, shell models for one of our mid-range L series or for the very reasonably priced 1300 or 1700. We believe you'll find higher standards of comfort, finish and convenience for your money than any other range on the market can offer. That's quite the statement, isn't it? And like I say, this flap does open up. There is writing on the reverse as well. And then on the reverse it says the 700 HL, 1300 HL, Marina dependability in the grand manner. Kind of strange really, it's talking about the top of the range models first. Marina brochures tended to show the base model first, but there we go. Your first glimpse of the HL saloon will tell you that they are offering something special in the way of creature comforts and worthwhile refinements. Outside there's a redesigned bumper with rubber inserts, a spoiler to reduce drag and improve high speed stability, colour matched vinyl covered roof, tinted glass all round, triple coach lines, halogen headlamp units matched with inset auxiliary halogen driving lamps, redesigned rear light clusters incorporating fog guard lamps, attractive yet functional wheel trims and practical matte black wiper arms and door mounted driver mirrors. Inside, the impression of sensible innovation and attention to details are confirmed. The velour seat facings are every bit as comfortable as they look. The front seats have reclining backrests as standard. Head restraints are also provided. So things like your head restraints, that was quite advanced at this particular time to be showing them on these, what is just a cheap family car. The rear seats has folding armrests while your passengers are provided with grab handles, the rear ones incorporating useful coat hooks. The impression of luxury is heightened by the cut pile carpet. Incidentally, even the floor, boot floor is carpeted. Fancy that. So yeah, the HL model was certainly high spec for a car in 78. And you can see how the badging appears on there. And the front of the HL model. On the next page it carries on, doesn't it? It carries on talking about the 1713 HL style and refinement inside and out. So it's really going into great detail how fabulous this top of the range model is. And we get a first little glimpse of the interior. This is the 1300 HL, this new dashboard that I talked about earlier. And the weird thing is it curves away from the driver, so your radio is actually pointing towards the passenger, which is a very strange thing. I'm not a huge fan of the Marina 2 interiors, I must admit, and they're also quite a bland plasticky colour as well, aren't they? But of course, more instrumentation, etc. There is that radio that faces the wrong way. And what they call the HL companion box. And then if we go over leaf, it actually gives us a nice view of the interior. Again, you can see how that dashboard sweeps the wrong way, but I'm approving of this nice 70s tan interior. That does look quite good. And like I say, headrests, that was quite advanced for the time on a very ordinary car. We've also got these very nice rear armrest, so quite well appointed really, wasn't it, this 1700 HL. So we'll turn the page again anyway, I'll just make a little bit more progress on this brochure, otherwise this is going to go far too long. And then it goes on to the 700L, 1300L, and then you can see in 78 we've got these driving lights on all the models now, not just the top model. Love to see a nice brown Marina, that's very 70s indeed, isn't it? And it says 1700L, 1300L, proof that you needn't pay a lot for luxury. So after promoting that HL, it's going down to the mid-range model, the L, and saying, you know, if you can afford it, why not take the L? And it tells a little bit more detail about what the equipment levels are, etc. in there. Before moving on to the estate, so we had to get to the Marina too, and then we've got this estate. So nice to see the estate. I think it's quite well styled. You can see this little bit of a hump on the back there, which I think is quite nice. I quite approve of that. There's a little bit of a hump on there, I don't know why. A lot of models would have just gone straight on there and had a bigger glass area, but I think it adds to the style a little bit. Let me know what you think about that, but certainly improved the practicality. Here is the 1700 estate. Quite a black, bland interior there. I don't know what you think about this, but I don't know why. The Marina, I always like to see it in a more 70s colour than this more modern black, although I'm sure it was an easy colour to live with. And then overleaf, we've got the 1300L, 1300, 2 doors, which lead you to today's best coupe value. Yes, we've still got the coupe. Yes, we've still got that door that's too short, but never mind. Let me know what you think about this. Again, as with all these later Marinas, I do prefer the original design. I think it's a little bit nicer. So yeah, so this is the 1300L, that's the L model. This is the base model with these very base wheels. I guess these are wheel caps just to make it a little bit nicer. And of course we get this nice vinyl roof as well on the L. And then turn the leaf again, and it's back to the 4 doors. This time the also basic, you can see where the very basic wheels, they're not even an L model, so this is your base model territory here now we're in. But we've still got these nice driving lamps, if you notice. Nice look at the interior. I'm much more approved of this very 70s brown. That's more in keeping with the Marina, I think. Yep, we've still got this dashboard that's sloping the wrong. But if you notice, the steering wheel has changed, so we've gone from this nice steering wheel on the L, and I presume the HL is probably the same one as well. It is at this time. To this much more simpler one, which I think I prefer actually, but maybe one of them saying no, you aspire to have the other steering wheel, of course, but this much simpler one does appeal more to me, I think. As we turn the page again, we have a look at the estate version of that very basic model. Yeah, you can still get it as a 1700 or a 1300, but oh so practical. What a great family load lugger that really would have been, and I kind of prefer this to modern SUVs. I don't know if you're with me on that one, but I think it's far more practical a vehicle in my humble opinion. And then finally we get to the specifications page. We'll have a quick zoom in on this anyway. This will be the specification of the 1300, so that would include the 1300, the 1300L, 1300HL, and also the 1300 Estate. So it's showing here that it's a 1275cc engine with a 4-speed synchro mesh on all forward gears. I do particularly like this little specification bit here where it tells us the 1300's got fog guard lamps, the L adds cigar lighter, boot lamp, glove box lamp, fog guard lamps, HL adds warning lamps to indicate choke in use and handbrake on, cigar lighter, boot lamp, glove box lamp, twin horns, fog guard lamps, halogen headlamps, intermittent wipe facility on windscreen wipers, and the Estate's got a tailgate lamp, a rear window wiper and washer. And it also gives some idea about the instrumentations as well. The L having a clock in the coin tray, the HL having a clock in the console with a tachometer. So nice little treats like that within it. Although it is extremely wordy, like I say, so I can't read it all. But if there is anything particular on here you want to look at, of course you can actually pause that screen. This is particularly interesting. I always like the optional extras. So it's saying like the auto transmission is an option on the L 4-door saloon and 1300 HL only. That vinyl roof can be on the 1300 L 4-door saloon only. Clear laminated windscreen, tinted laminated windscreen, tinted glass, and then we've got metallic paint finish is an optional extra as well. And then if we move over Leaf, then it's got the 1700 specifications. So that's got the a 1700cc engine, 78 brake horsepower. Again, on a 4-speed synchromesh on all forward gears. Disc brakes at the front now, still drum brakes at the rear. And again, it gives that sort of similar information on there about the different spec models of each one, which should tally up to the previous page actually. You can see on the HL the velour seat wearing surfaces and reclining front seats. And some optional extras. It should mirror up with the previous model again. And as we zoom out again, you can simply see how wordy that specifications is on this particular model. We get this nice little picture of the full range, and I mean, it gives you a good idea of the different colours at that time as well. And then you've got the full Marina range in 78. The choice is yours, the reputation is ours. And then you get the typical super cover, this sort of breakdown cover. It says here, because the best cars deserve the best backup. It does also give you a little bit, unusual to see it here, but it also gives us a little bit of a fuel economy table here, so we might just have a quick look at that. And there it goes, fuel, passenger car fuel consumption order 1977. So ranging from 56, constant 56 miles per hour, the 1300 L's manual are doing 39 miles per gallon. Compared to, let's have a look, what is a 1700? 39. There's hardly anything in the fuel economy between the two engine sizes actually, so really the 1700 was really your better choice. The very back page itself is quite simply ending with the dimensions and of course the British Leyland plug hole of doom on there as well. So there we go, the Morris Marina, a car that was certainly long in its tooth. The last throw of the dice was the Morris Ital, but by this stage it had certainly long outlived its welcome, seen here in 1983. Please jot in the comments though what you think about the Marina, or indeed your personal experiences. They're always very much welcomed. Please do like and subscribe, that does certainly help the channel. I'm off now to remove that tree which has been attacked so many times by the cats. I'm surprised it's lasted. But for now, we'll say take care and goodbye.